All right. No, we're gonna try.
Yeah,
we're gonna try the great Fran Sisco again, and hopefully things won't go berserk quite like they did last time. All right. And Fallon, you've been so patient all night. You are up.
Fallon, we're getting a high sign from Fallon.
Okay.
Oh, she's drinking.
And now let's welcome Fran Sisco. Hello, Fran.
Hi, Stephen. Hi, Wendy.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, so glad. Oh, these stories are just so amazing. My emotions are going up and down all night long. Really great stories. I have a story to tell that relates to what's going on around us. You know, with the civil unrest, some of the racism, and I never shared this story in public. I've shared a lot about myself and about my being transgender. And I call this story the intersection of my being transgender with racism and judgmentalism, and how it left my body all of a sudden one special day. So here's how the story goes. You know, first of all, I'm honored to be here with this amazing group of people. And just as a preface about me, I've been living as a full-time female for nearly 10 years, since January 1, 2011, but I've been cross-dressing since I was 10 years old. You know, and as many people know, as you two obviously know, I think of myself as a fully expressed person, loving everyone, filled with positivity, and often helping others to be their authentic selves. I do this through entertaining with comedy and songs, through writing essays, plays, making films, creating art such as paintings and sculptures, and giving motivational talks, and being parts of amazing shows like this show. But it didn't start like that. As a young boy, until I was age 14, I lived in a 95% Italian-American, lower middle class neighborhood in Mount Vernon, just north of the Bronx. The adult men in my family and in the neighborhood often called African Americans by mean-spirited slurs like moulignons. And they had hate-filled slurs for other people. And I won't go into the names, but for everyone, like Hispanics and Jews and disabled, people who were blind and disabled, Asians, fat people, everyone had a name, a derogatory name, and I grew up with that. And it was very ironic because these men, my grandfather, my two grandfathers, my uncles, my father, and the male relatives of all my friends in this very Italian neighborhood, they loved their own kind, and they were very generous and good family people. But for some reason, they were very judgmental about other people. But as I grew older, I moved into New Rochelle, which was a much more diverse and inclusive community. I came out to my friends in my 20s about my having gender identity issues. I was still cross-dressing a lot. And I identified with a more sensitive and loving side. My judgmentalism and racism faded, but it was still there, lurking in the background like some slimy monster waiting to raise its ugly head. Maybe my background judgmentalism was often holding me back from loving myself enough to live as I down deep wanted to as a female. It wasn't until I was about 45 years old that my 10-year-old daughter, Kelly, helped me profoundly. You see, on that Wednesday night, she came into my bedroom and asked me if her friend Brittany from 4th grade could come with us to Jones Beach on Long Island on Sunday. I said, sure thing, you know, envisioning Brittany as a cute, thin, blonde cheerleader type who might be a popular kid and who would probably be very worthwhile friend for Kelly to hang around with. In that one imagined thought about Brittany, do you see how many racist and judgmental assumptions and prejudices were enmeshed in what I was thinking. That white was better than black, that thin was better than fat, that popular was better than not. On Friday, Kelly happily showed me a picture of Brittany, who I didn't know. I imagined her as this cute little thin white girl. I was stunned when I looked at the photo and I saw Brittany's pudgy face. It was blacker than any face I had ever seen. I was stunned, so stunned that I was frozen. She wasn't the cute, thin, white girl. Probably not a popular cheerleader type either. I was frozen by my racism, my judgmentalism, until I blurted out as I looked at the photo. I said, Kelly, maybe the weather's not going to be that good. Maybe we shouldn't take a chance and go into the beach. Kelly, who grew up in a very diverse and inclusive community, New Rochelle, and who was kind and equality-minded person, had a fright come over her face. Tears started rolling out of her eyes as she realized my racism underneath my remarks that got her to see a new dimension of me, her father, a side of me that was different than the father she knew, who was basically a good person and even talked about Christ and helping others. A side of me that had always been hidden from her. I saw the extreme disappointment Kelly had for me in that moment. And then I burst into tears at the fear of losing her and coming to face the evil in my own mind. While I was crying, I assured her we would indeed bring Brittany to the beach Sunday, which we did. That simple event so moved me. It was like there was a laying on of hands on me, and all that disgusting, revolting, racist, and judgmental attitude convulsed out of me, at least almost all of it. It was replaced by openness and trust, equality, more self-respect, and greater willingness to see the good in everyone and not to judge anyone, and to maybe see more good in even myself, setting the path toward living my own life more authentically as transgender. And even open up and change the hearts of some people I meet. Just as Kelly, through her openness toward all, changed my heart that day, way back then. Thank you for that opportunity.
Wow.
Fran, that was brilliant.
That was
wonderful.
totally brilliant.
Thank you. I didn't mean to put any damper on. As you know, I often do comedy and stuff. But what's going on around us has made me think that it's important for us all.
Oh, yes.
Inside of ourselves, and wherever there is that slimy monster, get rid of it. And be caring and loving of everybody. And the more of us that tell that, the easier the others will have.
Yes. But the thing that really, I know your daughter, the thing that sticks out in my mind is how the love of the child brought you to your knees, really.
Absolutely.
Made you face really ugly things in yourself. These ugly things are erupting in all of us right now, right?
Yeah, and it was the fear of what Kelly was thinking of me in that moment. You should have saw her face turn white with a fright, like it wasn't even me that was that way. And so what we often can do is look at how it would be for other people to know the deep, dark secretive stuff that we all harbor and get it out. And the more we get it out and share it, and obviously you all know that with Triversity and know about sharing. God, thanks for an organization like yours. And the show, hopefully it will trigger other people. I know this triggered me. Knowing I was going to do this triggered me to pull this story out of my mind, and that it might actually help. It helped me getting it out. Hopefully it helped other people.
Well, yeah, and that's what we've been talking about. Your piece was so powerful, okay? And one of the things, besides sharing with us and having us recognize these things in ourselves, it helped you. And that's what the storytelling really is about. Simone said it earlier. It's cathartic, you know. In a way, storytelling is a form of transition, okay? Because when we tell our stories, we are purely from within able to transition.
And if you can go back into the story, you have a barometer or a measure of who you are. So when we go back and we reflect, we could see the good in us. We could see how we've changed, and the ability to do that with a nice, neat story. All the stories tonight are just amazing. Just amazing.
I feel the same way. Fran, thank you so much.
Fran.
Thank you. Thank you very much.